Hi there, I'm Lukas and I have beaten depression using exercise, and today I'm going to tell you about this. So a few years back I was fairly depressed. I just moved out of my parents' house, moved into my own apartment and was really contemplating a lot of different stuff, and I didn't feel well emotionally as well. So when I sat down and thought about what I could do to improve my situation, I thought, okay, now I don't experience much joy or happiness in my life, but what are things that brought me joy in the past? What are things that I liked doing in the past? Why don't I try to just do something of this? Because like many of you know, if you're starting to get depressed, if you're in a depressed mood, you don't really want to do those things, even though you know maybe they will bring you some happiness. So I remember that in the past I've used to do a lot of sports as a child, as a teenager, but then I had a surgery on my knee, which had to heal for almost a year, and I couldn't do much of anything for more than a year. So it took me 2 years to properly be able to participate in any sports activities again. And I didn't get back into the habit of doing a lot of sport like I used to right away. So years passed, and of course there were a lot of different factors that caused this, but I didn't really recover mentally from this break, and I wasn't feeling very well. So I decided to write a list with all the things that brought me joy in the past, and out of this list I found a few team sport activities. For instance, I used to play basketball. I used to do parkour in a group with people, and so I decided to try this, and I've started to go to parkour training once a week or twice a week again, like I used to do in the past. And surprisingly, over time, maybe a few months, half a year, I started to notice improvements in my mental health. Of course, I was doing a lot of contemplating about different stuff as well. Maybe that's a topic for another time. But over time, I recognized that exercise was directly connected to my psyche, to my stress levels, to my physical well-being, as well as my mental well-being. Right now, I'm no longer depressed, and I'm very happy about this fact as well, of course. But I can feel with everyone who's struggling right now, who's going through different times in their lives because of circumstances or because of anything else. And I don't think that this will be a solution for everyone, but I think it's something worth trying, because what I recognize is whenever I take a break from doing sports, for instance, when I travel or when I have a lot of work to do in other areas of my life, for up to 3 weeks, everything stays the same approximately. But after week 3, my happiness level starts to drop. And the first few times when this happened, I didn't really draw the connection or the conclusion that it's connected to sports right away. But when I started to think what changed from previously, I came back to the point, okay, I've stopped doing sports for the last few weeks. And when I took up sports, after 1 or 2 weeks, my mood improved again. So at first I thought that's just me, but studies confirm this. Exercise, regular exercise, and the important thing is exercise where you get your heart rate up above a certain threshold, where you get really drawn out of your head, basically, is as effective as SSRIs or other antidepressants. So it's basically the best medication. And as you, of course, also know or should know, exercise is not just good for your mental health, it's also good for your physical health. It helps you along your life, and in my case, I also had a lot of fun doing sports, because I recognize then that when I'm in a team setting, if I'm really challenged with the sport that I'm doing, I get completely out of my head. I forget about my thoughts for at least maybe 1 hour or 1.5 hours, half an hour, and I'm completely immersed in this experience. And sometimes, if it's a team sport, I started to play volleyball later, I'm immersed in this experience with other people, and I have experiences with them, and this brings me closer to them as well. And yeah, so I get feedback as well, positive social feedback, and all this takes out the stress that I'm feeling. I started to sleep better, I started to feel better, and a lot of different effects, and I felt more confident as well. And so this is my secret weapon to beat depression right now. Of course, like I mentioned a couple of times in this video already, I know that's not everything there is, but I think it's a very good start to try. And if you're like me, when I was depressed or when I didn't feel well and you can't motivate yourself to do anything, here's what I can recommend you to try. So how I got back into sports is I've started to just do a few simple exercises during the day. I had the luck that I'm working mostly in home office, so during the day when I had a break between meetings, I just did a few push-ups, 10 to 20 push-ups, or how many you can do, or some pull-ups. I have a pull-up bar. I set up a pull-up bar in my door and did some pull-ups, or some squats, 5, 10, 20, how many you want to do or can do. And I did this multiple times a day and across the week, every day, every other day, but I tried to do it more and more often. And the funny thing is, after 2 or 3 months, my strength improved quite a lot, and even my physique changed a little bit, probably like newbie gains, but I didn't experience a lot of muscle pain or something like this, so it wasn't really very painful. Of course, everyone has a different starting point. I was fairly fit to begin with because I have did a lot of sports in the past, but I think it's even more worth trying if you never tried it before. Because studies show that sports can improve our mood as well as our health. So this was what I wanted to share with you, what I wanted to tell you to try maybe. I know that it's not a solution for everyone, but in my case, I can feel with you and it really helped me. So I wanted to share this with you. In any case, have a nice day, keep it up, and see you in the next video.